Hey guys, welcome to the Liberal Hive Mind, a channel solely focused on exposing the abundant hypocrisy of the left. I gotta say it again, Joe Biden cannot get a win, and man, today has been another loss for the Joe Biden administration. We've been tracking it the whole way. This is video number 50 or something. Joe Biden getting blasted, and this time, once again, by the country of Mexico, by the president of El Salvador, by the media, by states. He's just getting slammed from all angles. It's actually crazy. Outside of like Justin Trudeau and Boris Johnson, who are just sucking up to the US for their own benefit, every single country where relations are a little bit finicky, where tensions might be high, and frankly, where Donald Trump was projecting strength and actually moving American interest forward, every single one of those relationships is in a very weird spot where it seems as though Joe Biden has absolutely no respect on the global stage. The man is an absolute laughingstock. They said that about Donald Trump, but really, when it came to Trump, everyone was at attention. Of course, it was like a reality show drama, but they knew that he meant business with what he was saying. With Joe, it's something else. It's something, honestly, a little bit more pathetic. Let me show you guys exactly what I mean. I have so many different articles to show you guys today. We have a lot to get into, so let's keep the intro short. But before we get into it, please make sure to leave a like, a comment, subscribe, share the video as much as possible. And with that out of the way, let's roll the tape. All right, folks, so once again, the government of Mexico is going after Joe, saying, hey, what are you doing, old man? This is getting seriously bad. Mexico tells Biden, expect constant and growing migration. But wait, didn't Joe Biden and Jen Psaki say that it was seasonal? It's just seasonal, folks. It happens all the time. As they just hit the highest rate of unaccompanied minors crossing the border in American history. Talk about seasonal. Blowing out the numbers from the last like 4 or 5 years combined. More migrants are coming to the United States, and the solution is more U.S. foreign aid to Central America, says Mexico foreign minister. If you look at the region from different points of view, but especially demographics and economic, it is clear that the flows are going to be constant and growing in coming years, said Foreign Secretary Marcelo Ebrard, according to the Associated Press on an April 8th report, meaning the absolute high that we're seeing right now, historic numbers, will pale in comparison as this continues to grow and grow and grow. And as we know, it's growing beyond just Mexican residents and Guatemalan, El Salvadorian. People from the Middle East, Asian countries, India, all across the world are traveling to Mexico to go through the border and get into the US illegally. The United States will have to allocate $2 billion per year for development in these countries, Honduras, Guatemala, and El Salvador, said Ebrard, who was involved in the slow motion negotiations with the White House about immigration surge into the United States. Now here I'm a little bit skeptical, but he's not exactly wrong. Do I trust the Democrat Party and in general Washington to spend money effectively and actually grow a middle class in these countries without the countries themselves having serious reform and frankly a total shift, a total change in government? Probably not. Probably a really bad idea. But the key of what he's talking about is definitely correct. The reports that we're seeing right now are Biden administration wants to pay Central American people to curb migration. And a few days ago, Washington announced $112 million to be sent to Central America for humanitarian reasons. And so this falls right in line with the president of El Salvador, who went on Tucker Carlson's show and absolutely slammed the Biden administration for what they were doing, bleeding his country dry of the next generation of youth. The Biden administration's response is to just throw money at Central America and hope the problem goes away, and not even work with the president of El Salvador himself. State Department torpedoes migration talks with El Salvador. President Biden's State Department derailed negotiations with El Salvador's government on the migrant crisis by suggesting the country's popular president is an authoritarian. And so it seems as though this whole thing is derailing. The Biden administration is completely failing to make this issue go away. In fact, they're making it worse when the president says it's going to grow and consistently grow. I think that might be prophetic to a certain extent. Watch, White House commits to welcoming children at border despite 100% increase in crossings. Take a look at this chart right over here. The blue line is 2021. This is border encounters by month. And if you look at the numbers in 2021, it's far greater than what we saw in 2019, which was a previous high, hovering around the low 70,000s throughout the ending of Trump's administration. And the moment Joe Biden got inaugurated, it went from 78,000 to 100,000 to 172,000, nearly doubling from February to March. And in April, we might see over 200,000. The Biden administration seemingly has absolutely no intent on slowing this down as they continue to incentivize parents from South America and all over the world to send their children alone, unaccompanied, or with coyotes, or in random groups into the Mexican desert to cross over. Jen Psaki fails to say if Joe Biden will ever reverse policies creating the border crisis. They refuse to even accept that they've created this. You cannot solve a problem if you're so deluded, so delusional, that you can't even even accept the premise to begin with. Therefore, what happens in this case, of course, if we make a comparison to addiction, if you don't admit that you have a problem, then you will continue to spiral out of control until you hit rock bottom. And Joe is getting slammed. What's the Biden administration been doing in order to cope with the numbers? They've been spending millions of dollars a week, like tens of millions of dollars a week. I think the official figure is $60 million a week to house these children. And they've been just shipping them all over the US. Iowa has had enough. Iowa governor rejects requests to accept migrant children, says it is the president's problem. Arizona governor says he will send the National Guard to the border. We're going to use every tool, authority, and resource that we have. And so it seems as though the ceiling is falling down, caving in on the Biden administration. Of course, what are they going to do? Create a distraction. Notice how all of a sudden Hunter Biden is doing a media tour. Joe Biden is talking about court packing once again and gun control. It's all a distraction from what's really going on at the southern border. And I mean, just speaking of that, Joe Biden in 2005 and in the past called court packing a power grab, unconstitutional, never committed to actually pursuing it legitimately. Throughout the election, whenever questioned, avoided the question, gets elected, and of course, things change. Breaking: Biden administration creates commission to explore packing the Supreme Court. The commission, according to the press release, will include legal, constitutional, political science, and history scholars. The topics it will examine include the genesis of the reform debate, the court's role in the constitutional system, the length of service and turnover of justices on the court, the membership and size of the court's case selection, rules and practices, the statement reads. An absolute waste of time considering Kyrsten Sinema and Joe Manchin have been breaking with Democrats and absolutely not will vote on a party line for this or any of the other blatant power grabs from the Democrats. But nonetheless, he sets up, of course, a partisan commission to investigate, to theorize on Supreme Court reform. We know exactly what it means. Of course, we've spoken about it a million different times, and here you go. The Democrat gets elected on one thing and does another. And of course, once again, Jen Psaki is at the forefront, having to defend it all, having to constantly lie to the American people and pretend as if everything's all right, telling the American people what you're seeing with your eyes, well, it doesn't exist. Just move along, folks. I'd say I feel bad for her, but I really don't, because I think she gets a kick out of it. I think she's enjoying it. It doesn't seem to be affecting her whatsoever to just lie and lie and lie and lie. And speaking of the main topic of this video being the border, the Biden administration and Jen Psaki kept saying, oh, there's no problem at all. It's just a border challenge. It's not a crisis. But if that's the case, then why are we getting headlines like this? FNC's Wallace: Kamala Harris may not want her fingerprints on the border crisis. Joe Biden border czar Roberta Jacobson stepping down, aka she got fired. Why would Kamala Harris not want to have her fingerprints on what's going on at the southern border? Maybe keeping her clean and saving her for the 2024 run. It's a clear crisis and they're trying to avoid it. If it wasn't a crisis, they wouldn't be running away in the way that they are. It's common sense. So another loss in the news cycle for Joe as he tumbles down further and further and further, snowballing. The snowball is so massive right now. So much velocity, mass, and it's getting more and more dense. When it reaches the bottom, I think it's going to be a wrap for the Biden administration, which hopefully only lasts 4 years and nothing beyond that. It's a video that I got for you guys on this one though. If you enjoyed it, please make sure to leave a like, a comment, subscribe, share the video as much as possible. We're still shadow banned by the YouTube algorithm, hidden from non-subscribed viewers. But now, like usual, I gotta get back to work because there's a whole lot of Biden hypocrisy that must be exposed on a daily basis. Someone's gotta balance out all the BS coming out of the media and give you the real facts on what's going on with the Biden team. So I'm gonna get to that. I wanna thank you for watching and I'll see you on the next one.